Am I the host or are you the host?
Oh, sorry. I already said, here we go. So
we're live. All right.
Hey guys, Captain Matt here with the Lighting Trade School podcast. I'm here with my buddy, Shane, Glow Daddy Duffy. Shane, how are you doing today, buddy?
What's up, Cap? I'm good, man. I had a lot of fires this week to be quite honest. It's been a little bit of a rough week, but like our podcast last week, if you guys didn't listen to it, sometimes you just got to let the fires burn. Like I would say we had catastrophic fires this week. But in all reality, like I've been through worse. Like you say, the crown isn't heavy, your neck is freaking weak.
Yes, that's what I say. Freaking weak.
And a much more direct tone from Matt. But I got a strong neck, so like these things really shouldn't. If they don't bother me, they shouldn't bother you there as the listener. If you lose 50% of your team in the middle of a super busy season and you have trucks break, tires blow, equipment go out, managers late, like it's not the end of the world. It'll ruin an hour, but it's not going to ruin my entire day.
Yeah, you have a great way of handling all that. And yeah, I know every day we talk, it's like you're going through something. You're just getting hit left and right now. And the irony of it is that we just did that podcast last week about the fire. So I know. Just brought up all those old shit.
Downhill since that one.
Yeah, man.
Hey, but it could be worse. We could not be making money. At least we're making money, and that's what makes the stress is we're busy while we're going through all this.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, on today's episode, we are going to talk about some design stuff, especially we have a project that Shane is working on right now, which really leads us to be able to talk about some cool concepts. Part of being a designer is always think out of the box, right? Instead of just saying, oh, there's 8 up lights, 3 path lights, boom, 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 boom. How do we elevate our game as designers, incorporate our own style, bring something that, maybe you've never tried before, but you think would be cool. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about in today's episode.
So folks were asking more for design stuff and how we do, and this just happens to be a pretty trick job that we're going to do. It's a little over and beyond the norm, so I thought it'd be worth sharing. But Matt, it's cool. Like before we even jump into that, the sponsor, of this podcast for today is Captain Matt Outdoors Coaching Program, which is kind of funny, right? Because here you are, Captain Matt. But I mean, you did sponsor this episode, and you have a super badass coaching program. Like I know you do. Folks get lots of value over it. You've spent a decade learning and paying for coaching services through Warriors. So like you're uniquely gifted. You've been a coach in another lighting, gurus, group for a long time because, right. Like, what you're doing. And I'd probably even say, I would say like that is your unique gift, Matt, is mentoring and coaching. Like you got a knack for it. I can tell you really love it and you enjoy it. You get a lot of energy for it. Sure. You do it for free if you could all day. And you do it for free a lot. For a lot of people, like, you just thoroughly enjoy it. If you could, right, in 60 seconds, what is your mentoring program and why would anyone be interested if they're looking to elevate their game?
Yeah. So my mentoring program is basically working with me with your outdoor lighting company, landscaping, permanent, Christmas. I can definitely help you across the board, whether you're just starting out or you're making a couple 100,000, I can elevate you. And it's working directly with me, right? There's 2 mandatory calls a month where we just talk about your business, the foundation, and what's going right and what's going wrong. And you get direct access to me. You have my cell phone number, a Telegram group, anything and everything. There's no set program. It's different for every single guy based on where you are and where you want to go. So it's super hands-on, super. I'm talking to the guys all the time. It's not like you only get a 1-hour call every 2 weeks. So it's been great. We've got 5-6 guys in it right now, and already seeing some pretty cool things happening.
Do you even have any slots like available to take on a new guy? Because I know you only want to take on so many folks.
Yeah, I said 5 guys this year, and I filled that up, basically when I announced it. But a couple of my guys have full-time jobs, so as a little bit different than I expected for my first 5 guys, where I thought a lot of them would be like lighting guys doing it full time. So definitely, I'm taking a couple other applications. For right now, I will take a few more because I'm going to have the time, because these guys are working, 50 hours a week on their normal 9 to 5, if you will. So I'm going to open up a few more. So if you're interested, you can definitely fill out the application. I read them all myself. We hop on a call, see if it makes sense. That's captainmattoutdoors.com.
Awesome. Well, hey, let's get into it.
Oh, yeah.
If you're interested, yeah, it's worth an hour conversation. Just do a discovery call with Matt and see if you guys are a good fit and what it's all about.
Hell yeah, man. And I also, have badass coins and cigars. Man, that's a whole other thing.
You mean you get a coin and a cigar too?
It's fucking worth it. I like, real quick on that. Like, I was talking to somebody doing that, he's like, man, I don't know. I was like, if I can't sell you 2 extra fixtures a month, like, am I not worth 2? You don't think I can help you sell 2 more? Easy. Anyway, you're doing a badass outdoor kitchen, I believe. I'm only briefly saw some photos. And so why don't you, before we kind of go into what you're doing, like, you brought this up to me saying you had a unique project. So what's unique about it? What are, like, the pain points from the average lighting guy, and then even the pain points from a guy like you who is well beyond average?
So this job, just to kind of preface it, is a customer we've had. We've installed a couple hundred fixtures on the property. It's a pretty amazing property, and he built this outdoor kitchen. He always had the intention to, it just, it wasn't existed a year or 2 ago when we were first there. So
Sure.
we come out, and so I know the client. We've got a relationship already. He's pretty much already wanted to use us, which is like a great reason why you want to stay in front of your customers and have a maintenance program. Like, be friends. You want to be the first person they remember and call. So we got that, and there's nothing extra unique about this kitchen. You guys will see it, but we wanted to do some extra, like, over and beyond trick stuff that no one else would even attempt to do or quote. It should be extremely rare. I would say, 99 out of 50 guys, 99 out of would not do these particular things. So I thought, well, hey, that'd be cool for a cool podcast. Like, maybe it'll help you guys elevate your design and thought on what could be for lighting up an outdoor kitchen. Of course, it has to be the right client, someone that has to have a budget for it, right? We're not just putting 5 or 10 lights on it. So I want to get into that. I also just thought, even backing up, I'm going to bring this to the stage, the company cam link that I have on this. But even before, you start the design of this, Matt, I think the question you should always ask when starting a design is where do you even start when you're doing a design? You start with the trees? Do you start with the house? Do you start with budget? How does your conversation go when you're starting, the process of a design?
Yeah, sure. So obviously, I tell the client, well, let's walk around and explain your property to me. But the moment I look at their property, usually when I drive onto it, I mean, you can look in pictures, but I really want to know what's, like, the whole objective. What do I want this whole property to look like when I'm done? So no matter what small section we may start with, or a large section, I'm already envisioning what's the whole objective here to make this property what I would want my house to look like. And then that's first, but also super important for me is I find out what's important to them. Like, just driving up, I don't have to ask them. You can usually tell. It's the most manicured, there's a statue, there's something special about the yard. And so in terms of a sale, I focus on that as well, in terms of, okay, this is my design objective, but presenting to the client, I'm going to kind of talk about that first, because it builds that connection there. Like, oh shit, he knows that's actually important to me. That kind of answer you're looking for? Or?
Yeah, I mean, that's almost exactly what I'm looking for. I like to start with the viewpoints as well. What are the different viewing angles, different viewing points? Could be, driving by from the street. That's a viewpoint. Could be sitting on your front porch, sitting on your back porch, the parking spot, in your driveway, the little bench that's under a tree over here. So wherever there might be a viewpoint, I want to sit at that viewpoint and look out and kind of map stuff out from there. I also like to kind of tell the customer too, just to prep them, like, hey, I'm a lighting guy. Like, you have an amazing yard. I mean, all this stuff is super awesome. Like, so forgive me. Like, I get excited. I want all this stuff to be visually active at night. You spend a lot of money, time, and energy keeping it this way. It doesn't exist at night. And like, my job to like want to get you to, make it exist at night where there's no light, there's no space. So none of this you can even see half of the time. So like, forgive me if I get super excited and kind of carried away. You can tell me, Shane, shut up. You're going too far. But like, this is exciting for me because your yard's amazing. And then I'll ask him, like, would you like me just to start talking what I would do if this was my yard? And that's usually kind of how I start. Or is there something very specific you want to talk about today? So it gives them the chance to tell me, oh, I'm only looking for this. And if they tell me, which is what I want, like, no, I kind of want your thoughts and input. How would you design it if it was your yard? I might not want to do all that, but I'd kind of like to know. And that gives me an idea. Am I going to phase this out and plant seeds, or am I going to quote the whole thing right away?
Yeah, I think it's great. Also, when you talk about sitting down, finding the viewpoints, I think that's extremely important. I want the client to see me sitting down. I even ask them, like, where's the spot you sit the most? Whether it's the backyard, front yard, show me. Like, which one of these chairs is yours? Because there's always chairs. And they point to it, and I'm like, okay, I have to sit where you sit. And I want them to see that, because it's not a bullshit line, at least for you and me. Like, we're really trying to see what they see. It's not just a sales tactic, but it lets them know, like, okay, lighting is more than just I want that tree lit because I like that tree. I want that tree lit because I like that tree. Right? It helps them start understanding that, like, okay, it's more than just what I'm thinking. Let's see what this lighting guy is doing. He's super important. He's sitting down to see what I see at night. So it's a little tidbit, little nugget.
Yeah, like you said, you want to look for things that are cool to light up, called visual objectives, right? What are your visual objectives? Our visual objectives to guide the eye to the gazebo, to the front door, to the entry, to this manicured tree, to this marble statue. Like, what are the things we want to make sure, are visually active? And then we kind of start with the design around there. So I'm going to pull this kind of to the stage.
Pull it up. Pull it up.
Can you see this well?
Yes, I can see you've got some down arrows underneath the marble. What's that, marble?
So this is on Company Cam. If you guys aren't using Company Cam, like, you should. Company Cam's a really cool app to use. If you need a good referral link, maybe we'll get like a high five or something if we put a referral link in the thing. But Company Cam's like one of those. And we don't get paid from Company Cam. I want to. Company Cam, if you're listening, work with us. But like, I genuinely, like, it's like one of our things we can't live without in business now. That and Jobber, we use Jobber a lot. Those two are like our must-haves. So I mean, our team relies on this. So let me see if I can get a picture of this from far away. I should have taken more pictures, knowing that we would talk about this on the podcast, guys. I just took these pictures as part of like my internal team in kind of making the design. So forgive me if it could be a little better. But as you can see, Matt, like, it's not big, right? He spent a lot of money. It's a nice tile roof. These are big, beefy pillars. The benches already existed. So it's really just these two walls and the roof.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, for multi-million-dollar home, like we've seen bigger and better and more fancier. And I don't want to take away, right? Like, this is amazing. You spent some money.
I was going to say, that's badass, bro. Come on,
it's better than my backyard,
right?
But for having 30 fixtures on it, you might think like, holy smokes, that's insane. So
hold on. Okay, let me slow you down a little bit. You just said 30 fixtures, but before we go to 30 fixtures, what Shane is doing, you were there. What do you think the average, or before you really learned design, would you still have done 30, or like what would you have done? Like what, or if your competition, the landscaper, like what would they do? Would they be at 4 fixtures? Would they just hang bistros and be done? Like what, before we get into yours, let's kind of go through that thought process so that these guys can understand maybe where they are to kind of elevate their mindset on design.
Yeah, so if that's a question for me, well, I think most people
Yeah.
would just put bistros in the middle. As a matter of fact, it's funny you said that. That's what the customer asked for. Like, hey, can you put bistros? We already bought them from Costco. I was like, well, yeah, I could, Mr. Homeowner, but I mean, that'd be really lame. Like, yeah, you spent, I think I guessed you spent 70 grand, on making this thing, and you want to put $50 worth of Costco lights up. Like, well, that would be really lame. And he said, well, we want hooks in so we can take them up and take them down. I was like, well, how about you just light it so you guys enjoy it year round every night looking at it? It's like, well, what would you do? And that's what kind of started the conversation. So most folks might put some like just lights, some sconce lights or something on the pillars, which would be impressive because that's not easy to do. That's it takes some skill to be able to get wire to those.
Yeah.
And they might put, a downlight or something in the rafters. Maybe. What would you say the average person would do?
Bistros.
Then
No, for real. I'm not. I think most guys are gonna show up to this, look at it. Oh my God, there's so much wire hiding. Yep, I'm glad you got those Costco bistros, and that's what I know. I mean, because I see these things, and everyone has bistros underneath these damn things. So you got that same call to add bistros, which you could have just closed that job and made whatever $2 grand or whatever the hell you're going to charge to do bistros in here, but instead you let the Glow Daddy kind of take over and put Shane Duffy in the corner and let Glow Daddy talk, right?
Yeah, and we just kind of spitballed some ideas, and he really just kind of like everything I was saying. So we put in a quote for it. So let's kind of go. I think I drew some arrows. Can you see my mouse right here, Matt?
No. Oh, yep, I can now. Absolutely.
See my little mouse. Okay. So I wanted to put skyliners. He put gutters. I gave him a contact to a gutter guy, and he did install gutters. So, which if you guys don't have a good referral network, you should have a gutter guy that you refer folks to, and he refer folks to you.
So you're saying you had him put gutters around here, like there's gutters that are where that fascia board is, or right underneath the tile? Okay.
Exactly. So these arrows are where these skyliners would go. So there's only really two ways you could do it. There's putting one in the middle, lighting it up, or better, I like two. One, because twice as many fixtures, but two, because it looks better, right. Striping, this going along with the lines of the architecture, highlighting that. It's going to be a little shadowed in the middle. It's going to look way better. So that's 8 skyliners just right there, 2 on every, triangle.
Yeah. Awesome.
Now, why would I like the roof? That would, I think you like lighting roofs a lot too, right? But if you look way up here, like that's his driveway, that's where he parks, looking over, well, that's a viewing angle. There's a big patio behind us as well, master patio. You could see this rooftop from where they eat, that's a viewing angle out the window. So like there's a lot of viewing angles that could see this roof. You can see it from pulling down the street. You see this. So like the roof should be lit. It's a cool roof. If it was an ugly shingle roof, I probably really wouldn't care so much. Like barrel tile roofs look freaking cool lit.
Don't you take on, we have all shingle tiles or all shingles up here. So just chill saying you wouldn't light up the shingles, bud.
Well, maybe you would like the shingles. Shingles just seem lame. They're not on high-end homes in my area. It's either metal roofs or tile roofs.
Well, even on the shingle roofs, because that's what we have out here. Like we don't have any tiles because of the freezing, thawing. They just break.
No, I don't know. I guess it must be a Southwest kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it looks badass. And but it also, even if you didn't have a viewing angle in a different area, lighting up that roof or any roof, it, like I like to say, it creates that third dimension right from the top. So often, you get on the front of homes, right? Front of home is lit up, all uplit, but it almost looks like a 2D, like a cardboard cutout because there's no depth to it. So it's a great way to add depth. But that is a badass roof.
And I'm going to go over the inside. I was just say, Matt, I don't think I pulled up and prepped. Why turn the page to the inside? I don't know if you can pull up the Illuminati Club Lounge photo access and look up Mariner or even Casita. It'll better show kind of my idea for the inside. So on the inside, I actually changed it. So, I should readjust these arrows, but these blue arrows are what we call the Mariner fixture. It's a little 1-inch well light. So you drill it up into this beam, and the light is flush with the beam. So we're going to have 3 on every beam right here. So we're going to drill in, we're going to run the wire in the top. It looks really, really badass. Now we're going to take it a step further. We're going to run those and we're going to have it on a switch. So the yellow lights will be on their own switch and the blue lights, the Mariners, will be on their own switch. And we'll put the switch on the back of one of these pillars so they have full control. Because the Mariners, you don't need on every night. That's kind of like, no, I'm under here. We're cooking, we're chilling, we're serving drinks, and I want more light on the countertops. So that's
what they usually leave them on.
They end up leaving them on anyways. Yeah. But the idea of the light switch, no one else does that. And then we wanted to light up the volume of this ceiling. Now I had 8 drawn here. We ended up changing it to 12. And there's going to be 4. Timeout.
I took over the screen by accident here. So you want to show I got the Mariners pulled up. You want to
Oh yeah. Dope. So that's exactly what. So this was a half finished job. It wasn't completely finished, but yeah, the Mariners are drilled in to the beams there.
Yeah, it looks badass. Let's see.
Oh yeah, exactly where I got the idea from. So you can see, 2 of them hanging out. That's where I said it wasn't finished.
Oh no! Cool. All right. Awesome. Oh yeah.
And then this one is finished. But yeah, this is 3, just like I have. It's almost the exact application of it.
Cool. All right.
So, perfect. And then pull up a casita picture. I'll remove back to mine. There's a folder that says casitas and pergolas.
Okay.
And I'm looking for a good Enlightener picture. So I'm
on it right now. If you want to Enlightener. Maybe? No.
No, if you go to the big one, that one right there.
Oh. This one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
So these are called Enlighteners as part of the Expander family from Lifetime Lighting Systems, meant to enlighten or add volume to the ceiling here. They're real low profile. They don't have a knuckle. It's kind of a square fixture, which kind of matches with this architecture. I'm going to remove that from stage and then bring this back up. So these yellow lines are that fixture. So there's going to be 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in each of these, hallways, I guess. I don't really know what I would necessarily call those. And then there's going to be 2 on here. So there's going to be 4, 4, 2, and 2. And then that's going to really add a lot of volume to this inner part of the ceiling. The light's going to reflect down. It's going to make this whole interior part glow. And those are going to be on a light switch. So there's going to be 2 light switches.
Okay.
The Skyliner's not a light switch. That's an everyday thing. So how many extra fixtures is that? So we got 3, 12, plus 12, 24. So we're already at 32 fixtures, and I'm not done yet. So these fixtures right here, we had already previously installed. That's the Atlas fixture. That wall was already existing, and we're going to add more of those. So if I go back here, let's see. There's what that ceiling looks like, by the way. So the Enlightener is going to be right there in that corner going up.
Nice.
So we're going to add 5 more Atlases right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the okay, so now the very, very custom stuff I'm going to do right here on this. And Matt, I just telegrammed you a picture a second ago. If you can add that, I'm going to show you. So I was going to do something a little extra cool, just because I want to try to do it, just to see what it would look like on this job.
Hey, before you go on, I just put one in. Oh, I guess I took over. My bad. Oh, I guess when you drop them in, it takes over. There is the Enlighteners too under a similar roof. It's kind
perfect. Fine. Yeah, that's almost exactly what it's going to look like. That is not almost. That is the exact thing that we're working on.
Okay.
Yeah, super cool.
Did you you want me to drop in? It's a kind of like a sconce light. Is that what you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to add to the stage, I'll talk about it right now. But I'll go back. So let's remove that from stage and bring this back up. So on here, he has these weird, like low benches. He wanted like a normal, like almost like a porch light type of a light fixture there. I was just like, man, like that would look really, really bad. Putting that there. Like it's just a weird, awkward, low spot. So what we came up with on these corners, you can see the PVC coming out. No? Yes.
I don't know. I don't see your mouse or anything. Maybe I'm being
right
silly.
there.
Oh yeah. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So the PVC coming out, it was meant, for high voltage wire to be ran to put like a normal type of a column light there, like you see on gates, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
That was what he suggested and what he wanted. I think the builder suggested, hey, that would be cool. Like, well, that's just going to be a glare bomb. It's really awkward sitting next to it. Like, that's weird. So what we did is I went out and bought a pot for him. I don't always go out and buy pots for customers, but this was kind of like one of those customers and jobs that kind of made sense for it. I'll show you guys a picture of the pot. And we're going to put a pot right on there. I'm going to even go and put some succulents in it for him. Something that doesn't have to be watered, something that's easy. I don't want to water it because I don't want water leaking or causing rust stains further on down the line. We're going to run the wire through this PVC because it's already there. And I'm going to put a Polynesian fixture. And I will kind of show you a picture of how I envision that looking. But the Polynesian fixture is a downlight. Matt, go ahead and bring that to stage there.
The Polynesian, which one?
That one.
Oh.
So it'll look something exactly like this sticking out. It's not going to be that tall. I'm not sure how tall it's going to be yet. I'll kind of make it custom to size when I see it. So it'll be 12 to 18 inches or something. It'll be in the pot right in the middle. It's going to light the succulents. And you can take this cap off. You can put citronella oil in it and light a flame. So it's a tiki torch when you want it to be. Otherwise, it's a downlight. But I want to make it extra trick because it's short. I've got a short, fat pot. As a matter of fact, just for you guys that are actually looking and watching, this pot is what we're using. I wanted something with color, blue. I thought this looked cool. It was big. It's probably 2 or 3 inches taller than I would have preferred. But still, it's only 15 inches taller. It's not very tall.
And you're going to
drill what I wanted.
What is that made of? You're going to drill a hole right in the bottom of that
conduit. So we got to get a diamond drill, and we got to make a 1-inch hole or 1.5 inch, however big this PVC is. And then let me bring back up the picture. So remove that, bring that. So the pot will go over this PVC. I'm going to leave the PVC there, Matt. Like I'm probably going to trim it and cut it, but that'll help stabilize it. And we're going to silicone around it so it doesn't leak.
Yep.
And then I'm just going to run my wire up there. And I'm going to put my 2-inch copper. So I made a custom 2-inch copper because like the picture we just showed you was 1 inch. I want the copper extra fat, extra custom. So it's going to be short and fat and super cool. And the 2 inches is going to slide right over this PVC. So in theory, that'll stabilize the Polynesian because it's already stabilized and stabilize the pot. So I'm going to work with what I had. If not, I would surface mount it and drill holes in the pot and drill holes and put anchors in here. I don't think I have to do all that on this. Okay. So it should be easier than it might sound. So just kind of recap, right? Pot over the PVC, Polynesian in it, shining on some succulents. Maybe even they'll like hang over the pot. We'll get kind of some vine-like, succulents. And we'll look like super dope, super custom. You can have the flames on. There's a pool right there. It's going to look pretty amazing. Here's kind of another example with a path light in a pot. My pot's going to be shorter. The stem's going to be fatter. The whole fixture is going to be a lot shorter. But to kind of maybe help visualize for some of you guys that are watching.
Yeah.
And then just extra thought. So I had this thought, and I got to admit, I stole it from Nate. So Nate always has cool ideas. But for these pillars, these posts, I didn't even quote to the client. I'm honestly just doing it. If he doesn't like it, I'll take it down. But I'm going to take some pictures of it and just, learn. But I got these fixtures. I got them off Amazon. They weren't very expensive. I'm going to put those on the post. I'm going to convert the socket from like a 120 socket to like a bipin socket. And then it's going to have a fire flicker bulb in it. So these little things are going to be on the comms, as like a sconce light, but they're going to have fire. So they're going to match the fire,
fire that you're bringing to the design.
There, it's going to be on the post, on the outside. It's going to have a little fire flicker there. If he likes them, I'll probably add 2 more. And there's going to be fire here. And then I like this concept so much, I want him to add more of these around his pool, which he probably will. So when you get into really custom stuff, you can, win and separate yourself, on these types of jobs. So I think I told you 30 fixtures to start off, Matt. Like, well, after recounting, it's more like 40 fixtures. This fire pit, we quoted to put some strip light underneath it. We give the option for RGB. And at the end of the day, we just kind of thought it'd be too difficult to do and maybe not quite worth it. It was already pretty stretched with adding 40 fixtures on this little area. That was one thing we kind of quoted and decided to leave alone.
Yeah, I agree. That I think even if you had strip light in there, you have to have on a dimmer switch. That could really just take over all the other cool things you're doing. It's just be the brightest spot.
Yeah. So now going back, the average person would have just quoted a bistro job, maybe 4 fixtures, a couple of grand, and you compare that to my proposal. It's like, what? Whoa. That would probably honestly take us a day. We would probably get that all done in a day with my top 2 guys. There's a chance it could spill over into 2 days if we get a little caught up or have to run to Home Depot because we didn't plan for something.
Sure.
Unlikely because we're pretty prepared. But that's not, I say it's not a difficult job. It's a really difficult job and trick job for most folks. Once you have the right tools and you've done it once or twice, it really becomes easier. I hate it when Nate says, "Oh, that's easy. Oh, that's so easy." And, he always used to say that and it would drive me nuts. Like, no, Nate, it's not easy. I've never done that before. I don't even know what tool that is. I don't even know where to buy that kind of a bit, Nate. Or once you do it, now I find myself saying, "Oh, that's easy." If I can do it, certainly anyone can do it because I am not super handy, naturally.
Yeah, and it's always more fun and easier when you're learning to do it on a job you're getting paid for. That's why I try to tell the new guys. It's like, man, I can tell you how to do it all, but why don't you wait till you sell a job with that? Because it's totally different when you've sold it and you have to figure it out. There's no more, hey, what if I was doing this? So I think that'd be a badass. Also, I want to point out, doing the design that you came up with versus bistros. If let's say they have their friends over, they're going to notice the bistros. They're not going to ask them who did the bistros. They come over, they see that badass thing. That's going to be, holy shit. Like, how'd you come up with this? Who did this? Right. So you talk about referrals, bistros. Yeah. You're not going to get really a referral. You can get a referral, but no one's going to be asking about it. So we see bistros everywhere. Like that's a huge thing too, is future work by presenting
the lit tiki torch in a pot with plants and drilling pots and stuff. Like none of your competition is doing that. I would be shocked if someone else came up with like a cooler, more unique design than that.
Yeah, I agree. That's badass, man. I think it's amazing. And again, it's more than just that job. You don't think that client, when every time they have a guest over, is going to show off their tiki torches in a pot with succulents on their marble outdoor kitchen top? What the hell? Like, everything about that, they're going to want to, that's something they're going to be proud of because they realize most people don't have it. So just awesome. And just keep in mind, guys, it's not just about that single job. Like if you do badass work, word gets out.
Well said. So, hey, if anyone likes this content, please give us a like, subscribe. If the 10 of you guys that are actually watching make a comment, hey, we want more of this, we want more of that, let us know. Because if you guys like these design talks, well, I do these all the time, between me and my team. Even if it's not an install we're doing and it's just a quote I did, like we'll go over this if people get value out of that.
Yeah. Hi, Alex. Hi, Chris. We know those two watch religiously. We appreciate you guys so much. Also remind people, lightingtradeschool.com. We do these weekly calls. We do them on Wednesdays. We do it for an hour. We all chat. All the guys come in. They present hot seat, talk about what projects you're working on. It's $47 a month right now. So stupid. Illuminati Lounge Club. Find us on Facebook, lightingtradeschool.com. Check it out. I got nothing else. You got anything else to share, say, whatever?
Nope. We're good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. Get out there and make some money.